So we are already halfway through 2025, and today I'm going to be predicting who will be champion in every single UFC weight class by the end of the year. So let's start off with the flyweight division. It is Pantoja. Look, Pantoja is going to beat Kai Kara-France. I think it will be a stylistically fun matchup. I think it will be a 5-rounder. I think we will see just a really fun, exciting fight. I mean, most of the flyweight fights do deliver. I mean, they don't have some big superstar down there or really any big names at all, but their fights always do deliver. I think Pantoja Kai Kara-France is going to be a really fun one, and I do think Kai Kara-France can beat Pantoja. I do. I think stylistically he is his hardest matchup in the division right now. Kai Kara-France is the better striker than Pantoja. I do think Pantoja's striking is underrated, but Kai Kara-France's striking is better. Kai Kara-France, in terms of striking as well, he's probably the biggest puncher in the division. Like, nobody is really getting knockouts in the flyweight division, but Kai Kara-France carries that part where he can put people out at flyweight in the first round. I mean, we just seen it in his last performance against Steve Usyk, who, yes, is on a bit of a losing streak, and I don't think Steve Usyk is as good as what we once thought, but nonetheless, a top 10 contender that has mixed it up with some of the best, including Pantoja. There was a time and a place where delusional fans were saying Steve Usyk beat Pantoja. I never understood that argument, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, that is another factor. Kai Kara-France does carry that knockout shot. However, Pantoja's got a granite chin. It's not like this guy's going to be folded over. He's very, very hard to finish, can take a shot very well. And another thing about Kai Kara-France that makes him so dangerous for Pantoja is the takedown defense. Kai Kara-France has got really, really good takedown defense. For those who haven't watched the fight, go back and watch it against Askar Askarov. Shout out that guy. The balance that Kai Kara-France was able to show in that fight as well was really, really impressive. So just the whole mix of him being hard to take down and being dangerous on the feet, he is a stylistically tough matchup for Pantoja. However, Pantoja has beaten him before. Pantoja's just a winner. He knows how to get shit done. He is going to get the job done against Kai Kara-France. What I think is going to happen is he's going to win by decision. Although I can maybe see a late round submission rear naked choke for Pantoja, who's got some really underrated jiu-jitsu as well. But I think he is going to remain champion. I think he might squeeze out one more title defense depending. I think if Joshua Van beats Royval, he's definitely defending the belt against Joshua Van later on in the year. Although I think Brandon Royval is a horrible matchup for Joshua Van. I'd love to see Joshua Van win just to spice up the division a bit, but I don't think that's going to happen. And regardless, I don't think anybody in this division is going to beat Pantoja. He's staying champion. Moving on to the Bantamweight division. Again, very similar. Merab, he's in the similar boat of Pantoja. This guy is just too good. Nobody is going to beat him in that division, in my opinion. He says he wants to have 2 more title fights. I think we will see that out of him. I think he will beat Corey Sandhagen by decision. And then I think they might run the Umar rematch end of the year. Depends. It's either going to be Umar or Jan rematch. If Jan beats Marcus McGee, which I think he will. However, Marcus McGee, especially with it being 3 rounds, and Jan takes a bit of time to get going, I could see in a world which is crazy, Marcus McGee beating Petr Yan. I'm not making that as my prediction, by the way. I am taking Jan to beat him. But it all comes down to, if Umar fights around the same time as Jan, like a month before, a month after, maybe 2 months after, and say he beats like a Figueiredo, because I think that's a fight that I can see being made. Umar versus Figgy, and he gets a win similar in time to Jan. Umar's getting the rematch over Jan. That's facts. I mean, the UFC were already talking about Umar fighting for the belt again after the O'Malley Merab rematch. So the UFC are looking to get the belt on Umar. They're looking to have this guy in the title picture at some point again. But either way, yeah, I just don't see Merab losing. I mean, Umar could maybe, I don't know, edge out a round against him. Maybe if he didn't break his hand in the fight, would it be different? I don't know. I just don't see anybody beating Merab right now. He's getting up there in age now, at 34 years of age, but he is continuously progressing in each fight, whether that be he's getting, like, I mean, in his last fight, he just got a finish over Sean O'Malley. Like, we haven't seen Merab get a finish since Marlon Moraes. So now he's adding finishes into his game. This guy's top 10 all time, by the way. But yeah, just, he's getting better in the striking. His grappling's getting better. He doesn't look like he's slowing down at all anytime soon. I think he remains champion. Now, next up in the featherweight division is where we get a bit different. This might be a hot take.
Bruh.
I think Movsar Evloev's going to be champion by the end of the year. Hear me out. Now that Noche isn't in Mexico, and I think they've seen the uproar of the fan base saying, why the fuck is Jair getting a title fight? The UFC are going to branch away from that, and I think Movsar is going to get his fight. I think he's going to get his well-deserved title fight. And look, if this was prime Volkanovski, I wouldn't be picking Movsar Evloev, but it isn't. Movsar Evloev, 19-0. I know he doesn't have any finishes. I know he's in close fights, but he is in close fights with the best in the division. Aljamain Sterling is better than his rank in the featherweight division. Just is, let's just be honest. Arnold Allen, what's he, ranked inside the top 5? Top 4? Top 6? Top 6. He's inside the top 6. Arnold Allen, close fight. Diego Lopez, another close fight. We've just seen Diego Lopez go tooth and nail with Volkanovski at UFC 314 in a very close fight. Now, obviously, the Movsar Volk fight will be very different from the Diego Lopez Volk fight, because Volk won't have to worry about the power of Movsar Evloev. And I know people will say, but man, did you see Volkanovski against Islam? And Islam's just a bigger, better Movsar Evloev, right? I understand that, but again, that was years ago. Since then, Volk has taken a lot of damage. He got head kick KO'd by Islam. He got KO'd by Ilia Topuria. He got beat up by Diego Lopez and dropped, and his face was butchered in that matchup. Yes, he won. He did beat Volkanovski clearly. He did beat Diego Lopez clearly, but again, sustained a lot of damage in there. Volk isn't what he used to be. Let's just be honest. And do you know what I think? Movsar's boxing is underrated. Do I think he's going to outstrike Volk? No, I don't. But I think he's competent enough on the feet to give Volk some problems, to give him something to worry about. It's not like if Evloev needs to just instantly, as soon as the round start, die for the legs. He's got pretty decent boxing. And what I think is going to be crucial in this matchup is, we've seen it against Diego Lopez and it cost Volk, the leaning back and moving back, right? I think he will do this against Movsar. And as he's leaning back heavy on his back leg, that is when Movsar will mix up the shots. Boom. Double leg him. Straight in. Take him down. And I think it's going to be a close fight, don't get me wrong. But I think Movsar Evloev right now, with the Volkanovski we have in front of us, not prime Volk, I think Movsar beats him. I do. I think Movsar is going to mix it up with Volkanovski. I think Volk is going to struggle this time around with the pace of Movsar, with the grappling of Movsar Evloev. I think he's going to struggle. And I think he's not... I don't think he's going to underestimate his striking, but I think he will give Volk problems on the feet with his striking because of the grappling threat, if that makes sense. I just see it now. I see the leaning back, moving away after Movsar's mixed up a couple of shots, has Volk on the back foot, Volk's maybe circling around, maybe blitzes in, catches Movsar with an exchange, gets the better of him, leaning back, moving back, and then that's whenever Movsar goes in, picks up the lead leg, maybe transitions to a body lock, I don't know, maybe gets a sweep. Double leg is what I'm thinking. I think Movsar beats him. I'm being serious. Moving on the lightweight, it's Ilia Topuria. Look, I think Topuria is going to knock out Oliveira. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him again for the rest of the year. I like Ilia. I do. He's one of my favourite fighters to watch right now, and I really wanted to see him versus Islam. I think the problem will be he will knock out Oliveira, and then we'll look to fight Islam again. I think that's what's going to happen. And with what I predict will happen at welterweight, which we'll just skip to right now, this will be the problem that Ilia Topuria will come under. Ilia Topuria will knock out Oliveira. Islam will beat JDM. Let's talk about that quickly. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, JDM, brah, he's going to beat Islam. JDM had the perfect camp for Islam against Bilal Muhammad. Bilal is a great wrestler, but he does not grapple at the level of Islam Makhachev.
I need the max win.
Let's just be honest. He doesn't grapple at the level of Islam. Islam's grappling is different. His control on his opponents when he gets them down is different. His submission threat whenever he gets you down to the mat is different. Now, I think JDM will have success in the scrambles. I think he'll do a good job of trying to get back to his feet against Islam. But I think as he's scrambling, that's where Islam is going to snatch up either the back and rear naked choke him or dorse him. I think the urgency of JDM to get up when Islam takes him down is going to cost him in the long run and get him submitted. I also don't think people are giving credit to Islam Makhachev's striking. JDM has the striking advantage, don't get me wrong, but this guy's a great kickboxer. I think he subs JDM inside 3 rounds. I think he knocks out Oliveira, and when Islam becomes welterweight champion, I think we will see a standoff with Ilya and the UFC, as Ilya will want to move up and fight Islam Makhachev, because once Islam moves up and wins at welterweight, he is never coming back down. Moving on to the middleweight division. Look, for ages I was saying Khamzat Chimaev, and this is my thing. I see DDP being dominated by Khamzat early on, but I don't see Khamzat finishing Dricus du Plessis. I was all aboard the Khamzat train beating Dricus. How does he get it done though? Is he subbing Dricus? I don't think so. Is he going to TKO Dricus when he takes him down early on? No, it's not going to happen. Dricus will be able to outlast the Khamzat Chimaev onslaught, and I think he will pour it on Khamzat Chimaev. I think Dricus is going to TKO Khamzat later on into the fight. I think round 4 Dricus TKOs him. I'm completely 180 in my pick. I see when people say Khamzat's going to dominate him. I agree, he is going to just absolutely maul him, throw him around the cage early on, but I don't see him submitting him. I just don't see him finding the sub on Dricus. I think Dricus is going to be so goofy on the ground. I think Dricus is going to be like rolling for a leg and shit whenever he's being taken down. And I think Dricus can match Khamzat in strength. Now, I think Khamzat's going to be able to take him down and shit, but I think he can put up a bit of a fight. I think he's going to be able to match him in strength. And the thing is, Dricus won't be on the back foot. Dricus will march forward against Khamzat and will meet him in the middle, which someone's going to have to budge back, and Dricus isn't moving back. I think Khamzat will be the one to take the back step, which makes it harder to shoot for your takedowns. I just don't see him finishing Dricus. I think Dricus is going to outlast him and beat him. Moving on to the light heavyweight division.
Shamas.
This comes down to where does this fight take place. What I mean by that is if this takes place in Abu Dhabi, Magomed Ankalaev's beating him again. Facts. Now, their first fight was close. There were those excuses. Pereira had norovirus, whatever the fuck you call it. He had a broken hand. Magomed Ankalaev looked good in there against Pereira. Let's just be honest. He outstruck Alex Pereira. He was faster than him on the feet. Pereira looked slow, couldn't get his hands going, his boxing going at all. The leg kicks weren't working for him like everybody predicted. Pereira was slow. However, with Pereira being slow, still made it really competitive with Ankalaev. Now this is next level cope for me, I understand. That fight scored 3-2. There's no other way to look at it. You cannot score that fight any differently than 3-2 in one direction. Ankalaev beat him. Close fight though. I think Pereira is the time off is going to be crucial for him. I think he's going to come back in there rejuvenated, ready to go again. No injury, he's going to be healthy. Doesn't have to worry about the grappling as much now. He knows he literally stuffed every single takedown of Magomed Ankalaev, and he was actually the one to get Magomed Ankalaev down. So he knows that he can defend the takedowns. I'm hopeful, yes I am, hopeful for today. I'm picking him to beat Ankalaev in the rematch. And finally, heavyweight division. It's Tzomis Aspinall. Tzomi Aspinall. He is going to be heavyweight champion, whether that means he beats John Jones, beats Cyril Gane, Thomas is going to be heavyweight champion. Let me know who you think will be champion by the end of the year. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.